Well, this is the day, boys and girls. So Tuesday, September 5th, I got up at 5:30, did some quick exercises, took a shower, and I'm thinking, wait, I need to drive for like almost 90 minutes, so I better go get coffee. And the thing is, I'm supposed to drive north, and the nearest coffee shop is 3 kilometers south. I hate doing this, you know, when you know that you're gonna end up driving one way, but you have to do a quick detour. But that's what we're doing. So I remember that I have some free, you know, points on my Starbucks app, so I got a free coffee, and this time I use my own mug. I love this thing. 20 ounces, you know, coffee stays very hot. Even water, I put in water with a cube of ice, even without the top lid, it stays very hot. Okay, so now we have to figure out where we're going. So I'm not going to actual school. I'm going to this place called Safety Now. Safety Now. Hold on, let's double check here. What is it? 76th Street? Just to make sure it's the... I did this on the night before. You know how you can start the route and then you cancel it, and then it stays on your phone. Yeah, so it's 129.
Head east on 104th Avenue Northeast.
129
Safety
clicks.
Now may not be open yet when you arrive.
That's okay. We'll wait. So basically that's my day one. The school is in a different location. The school is in Innisfail, Alberta, which is south of Red Deer. But this is where my day one, they said I have to go and take this ground disturbance course. Not sure why I need that, honestly, but it's probably a requirement for all heavy equipment operators. But I signed up for a wheel loader, right? Like not the excavator. So, but I guess it's still like, if you use a wheel loader to, you know, to create a stockpile and then load some trucks, I'm guessing that also qualifies as ground disturbance. Honestly, I have no idea what it is. I think it has something to do with, yeah, protecting, you know, like pipelines, gas lines, electric lines, stuff like that.
50
but
meters at the roundabout, take the third exit and stay on 104th Avenue Northeast.
But as part of this course, we're getting a bunch of these, what they call them, safety tickets, or, you know,
in 200 meters, turn right onto Métis Trail Northeast.
Say certifications. And so today I'm doing the first one. That's what it is. So now we're just gonna, we're leaving, this area is called
turn right onto Métis Trail Northeast.
This area is called Cityscape.
Continue on Métis Trail Northeast for 3 kilometers.
And this is Métis or Métis Trail. Okay, I need to cancel this because it'll keep talking. Okay, so now we cancel the volume. Okay, it's really cold. +9 Celsius, which is 48 F, if I'm not mistaken. But the Jeep is fueled, tire pressure is normal, and we have coffee. Perfect. So now I always love these longer trips, you know. And there's a semi-truck in the front, and of course everybody's lined up behind the truck, and then they have no clue why we are moving so slow? Well, don't line up behind the truck. So what do we have here? 3-axle flat, Alberta plates. Oh, 4-axle. He has a tag axle in the back, which of course in Alberta has to be up. You know, many guys here, they do this because it's not illegal to have one. It just, you cannot deploy it in Alberta. But as soon as you cross into US, like Montana is right just south, and that's what it is. If you see a tag axle on a trailer like this, that means that this guy travels to US, because only US or Ontario. If you go to Eastern Canada, they will also give you extra weight, you know. So it's pretty nifty. So he can load, like here they give you more per axle than in the States, right? And so that's why they do it. So let's say here he gets, I don't know, 60 over 60, like he gets more than in the States, right? So when he goes into US, if he only has the same 3 axles, the allowance, well, not for this guy. This guy is just a flatbed, but still, when you have oversized, you know, overweight load, you get less in the States. And so that's why they carry that extra axle. So they put it down, and now they have more weight, which pretty much the same, if not better than in Alberta, you know. And these tag axles actually are a good invention, because they also can be used on trucks. And that's what they do in Quebec, where they require long wheelbase on trucks. And so instead of a pusher axle, guys over there, they use tag axles, which is kind of like removable, you know. You have a heavy load that requires a bunch of axles. You get a forklift, hook up the axle, hook up the lines, kind of like same as what I was doing on my trailer. Of course, it's a pain in the butt, but that axle weighs about 3,000 pounds. So, you know, sometimes you don't need it, so you can save a bunch of weight. And so now that's over there in the distance. That's 201. I have to go west and then catch Highway 2 north towards Edmonton. I just wanted to show you guys all these lights and, you know, night driving. I don't do this too often. So I packed a bunch of bags. I have one bag with clothes, kind of like a gym bag. And then I have the box with my new shiny safety boots. And then I have this army backpack, which I'm gonna use as my school bag, you know, with where I have my, you know, let's say water, coffee, you know, a mug with coffee maybe, or empty mug where I can, there'll probably be coffee in the classroom, I'm guessing, usually it is. And then of course I have my big bag, my computer bag, which, you know, I decided to take along with the camera and the computer, because yesterday I sent a message to this car photography company saying that I'll be in Red Deer, right? So if you have any dealers that have cars to be photographed, you know, just let me know. And I have my card reader, my computer, so I can do everything from there, you know. That's so I did the first I did that kind of like a real test shoot yesterday. So they made me to reshoot my own car, right? So first I shot it without knowing anything, just trying to duplicate the samples they gave me, right? And then when they said they were okay, they sent me a bunch of, you know, training materials, and those were very specific, you know, like what aperture, what millimeter, you know, on the zoom to use, what angle. So kind of like much more detailed instructions for the same shoot. Like the shoot is always the same, pictures are always the same. It's like 25 pictures plus 2 optional if the car has some features like a backup camera or navigation. That's how you do it. And this is Highway 2. So we have bunch of kilometers to go, but the good news is that the speed limit here is 110, 69 miles per hour. It should be a nice drive. So yeah, the pictures are always the same, you know, which is basically they found the formula that works, and you need to take them pretty much in the same order, and then they're telling you, okay, you know, wheels to the left, wheels to the right on the car. Use this angle, use this focal length. And so now, after they send me this training material, they said, okay, please go over it and then reshoot your car using these new instructions. And so yesterday it was raining, or rather drizzling, until like 3 p.m. and then finally it stopped, even though it was, you know, all overcast and gray sky. And we're passing Iron Mills, huge shopping center. I come here to go to Cabela's or Bass Pro Shop when I want to buy something firearm related. And so that's what I did yesterday. So it was actually pretty cool. So I printed out the instructions, and so now I had much better understanding what exactly they want, you know. And they have a special website where you go to upload the pictures. Like everything is so organized, it's like unbelievable. And you have to use you have to download an app on your phone to, it's like a special VIN scanner. So basically like a little program that has a database of all modern cars. And so I scanned the VIN on my Jeep right away. It says 2023 Jeep Compass. Would you like to add this to the database? Basically, that's when you scan, that's what you're about to shoot as a photographer, right? So it creates kind of like a folder on the upload website, you know, because they are connected. So the app on the phone is talking to the website where you upload your images. And then after you scan, then when I have pictures, I went home and I just uploaded pictures first to my computer. Then I have to resize them. They tell you what resolution they need. It's basically from 10 megabytes, each picture becomes somewhere between 1 and 2 megabytes. That's all they need. But you have to follow the resolution rules. And so I did that on my Mac, changed the resolution, and you can do it in bulk. You know, I found a way how to do it. Like you can take 20 pictures and simultaneously change the resolution on them in my I don't use Photoshop, I don't use Lightroom, I use Preview. And Preview in Mac has pretty much, you know, many of the same features that the professional soft like Photoshop or Lightroom would offer. And then I uploaded them. Oh yeah, and when you go to the website, you log in and it shows you that VIN number and like a folder for that VIN for my Jeep, right? And it says, you want to upload, are you sure you want to upload? Yes. Boom. And then done, click log off, that's it. So I'm guessing this is Airdrie. It's the first town north of me, of Calgary. And so we are 123 clicks away, so 75 miles. So that's gonna take me just over an hour. Time now is 6:45. Oh, perfect. They told me to be there at 8:15. But I'm guessing the actual class probably starts like at 8:30. Okay, we're gonna start the cruise control. (104, 105, 106, 108, 109). Okay, so the cruise is set at 112, which is, I believe it's 70 miles per hour. Because there's always a cop sitting just north of here. But if you're doing 110, 112, even 120, they're not gonna bother you. But, you know, I have an appointment, right? I have to be there on time. And so yeah, I'm really excited about this. It's just that one thing that worries me is, of course, getting the job, you know, because everything I've seen so far on job boards, they want experience. 1 year, 3 years, some 5, some even say 10. So I don't know. That would be the worst thing to do, is, you know, to spend a bunch of money on this training and then, oh, look at this, how many trucks are here? And they just park on the road because there's a coffee shop here. But like I mentioned in a comment on the community page, one idea I came up with is I'm gonna go to this Machinery Trader magazine website and message all dealers, all equipment dealers in Alberta, you know, asking them if you know somebody who needs a rookie wheel loader operator. Basically trying to find people that know the people that you need, right? So in my case, who do I need? I need a construction company that has an urgent need for a wheel loader with very little experience, right? I will have experience, right? Like starting next week, we'll be spending 5 hours in the machine itself for 10 days. That's how you get 50 hours. So it's not exactly zero experience, right? Like, that's why they charge the money for it. You do get experience, just it's very light experience, right? It's nowhere near 1 year, 3 years, or 5 years. And so my customer in this regard, right? Like somebody who I want to find is a construction company, right? And of course it's easy to find a construction company. All you need to do is just put in construction company Calgary, Alberta. But like, what do? Then you start calling all these 100 or 200 companies. Like, there should be a better way. But I created an ad online as well, like, you know, where I sell stuff all the time, like on Kijiji. I said, wanted wheel loader operator job, but didn't get any responses so far. Let's check our fuel economy. What are we doing here? 6. Oh, that's pretty good. 6 liters per 100 kilometers. Last time I drove here, I was in a Hellcat. I think on a good day I was doing 11, 10 and a half. Driving pretty much with the same speed, you know, because you don't want to burn too much gas. In case you're wondering why I'm driving in the middle lane, it's because I can, and secondly it's because this lane ends, but I forgot where. I know in a couple of clicks it's gonna end. And if I see trucks catching up with me, I'll have to speed up. And there's plenty of room on the left for people to pass me, so honestly I don't see a problem. Clicks remaining to Red Deer. I had to increase the speed because trucks are driving the speed limit. Here we have a Volvo pulling a Canadian Tire load in a container. And finally the sign on the right and on the left says right lane ends. So it's pretty I think it's what, I don't know, 10-15 clicks north of Airdrie. That guy, I'm doing 115 and I am approaching, but very, very slowly, which means that he's probably driving, I don't know, 112. that's when you need a bit of extra speed, you know, to pass somebody. And that's what made me angry when I was trucking, that, you know, they limited our trucks in Ontario at 105 kilometers an hour. And I never drive that fast, you know, even though most guys drive, what, like 70, 75 miles per hour in a truck, right? But I was doing heavy loads, so it made no sense for me to drive fast, since, you know, I was getting 3.5 miles a gallon on a good day. But sometimes you have to pass somebody, right? Oh, by the way, just saw a sign about this new law. I thought it was already actually in place, but turns out it came into place only now. So you have to slow down to 60 kilometers an hour, or change lanes. Yeah, like if there's an emergency vehicle here and I cannot change lanes, but that's what I always did. You always try to change lanes, otherwise you have to slow down. But it became the law on September the 1st here in Alberta. Poor tanker guy, what is this, flange? Actually, I still have time, you know. I can save a bit of fuel if I reduce the speed. So back to 112, because it says here I am 47 minutes away, 87 clicks, and I'm gonna be there at this safety place at 7:53 a.m. and then I'll have to sit there for 20 minutes, right? Because they told me 8:15. Really like this magnetic hookup, you know, that I got from Amazon. No issues. The phone doesn't fall off like with some cheap ones. You know, I bought a cheap one that just goes into the same vent, but it doesn't have any tightening mechanism, whereas this one, you put it in and then you tighten, you know, and so it sits there very secure, and the magnet is pretty strong, and they give you, you know, these metal circles that you put on the back of your phone, and it works like perfect. I was trying this position, no, somewhere here, and I found this, and it's, you see, I can reach it with my hand if I need to. But you know, of course, when you're driving, you want to stay away from your phone, and that's why for the radio, for all that good stuff, I have controls on my steering wheel, right? I can change the channels on my satellite radio with the 2 buttons under the wheel. And on the right, I can change, under the wheel, I can change the volume. Like I don't have to take my hands off. Oh, everybody's in a hurry. Where you guys are rushing off to? Like the cemetery is still closed, I'm pretty sure. Like, look at that guy. Beamer 7. It's probably doing 130, 140 clicks an hour. Here's another one. Racer X. So me, I'm driving pretty much just 2 clicks above the speed limit, so which means that all these guys are speeding. Or we have the sunrise sunrise, wow, it's already at what's the time now? 7:08. Right, used to be like at 5 o'clock, then 5:30, 6:30, which means the winter is coming. And by the way, to get back to the main topic of heavy equipment, the winter is coming, which reminded me that's one of the reasons why I chose the wheel loader, because I often see them being used for snow cleanup. You know, when it starts snowing in winter, some big, you know, shopping centers, they have their own parking there where I see these big machines parked, you know, like they would have a backhoe, a medium-sized wheel loader, you know, stuff like that. And there would be like, I remember in Cambridge where I used to live before, right, there was they set up a temporary fencing at the Walmart, and that's where they had a couple of these big machines, and they would work like through the night. You know, they would work after a snowstorm. I remember I made a mistake of sleeping there in my truck a couple of times, you know, in the parking lot, in my semi-truck. And these guys start the snow cleanup at like 3 a.m. and his backup alarm is so loud, you know, like you cannot sleep. And actually they had signs in there, says do not park. Actually, I talked to one of these guys, and he says, yeah, it's okay if you park overnight, just don't park after the snowstorm, because we need to clean up everything. And of course, why they start so early is because they want the parking lot to be cleaned up before the customers show up. And that Walmart, as most of them, opened at 7 in the morning. And of course, I'm not a big fan of working at night, but you know, if I can make some money. So just, you know, I was looking at that 3-machine program that they have, right? And I was wondering why they chose these 3 specific machines. Like they have 6 machines, but that's some, you have to be a nut job to pay $25,000 for a what is it, it's like 6-week course on 6 machines. I don't think it's a good idea. Even if I had 25,000, it's just, you don't get that many hours in each machine. Now look what's going to happen. I have adaptive cruise control. Brrr, so it starts slowing down. Now as soon as the guy gets away, it'll pick up the speed again. Oh look, this guy has a little dozer. And so they have all these programs there starting from the top, right? 6 machines is the most expensive. Then they have what was it, 5 or 4, something like that. And then they have 3, and then after 3 it's just individual machines, right? And so I looked at that 3 because that seemed like a good indicator of what's popular, right? And in that 3-machine program they had an excavator, a wheel loader, and a rock truck, right? And I'm thinking, okay, now we're getting somewhere. And let's look at the individual courses cost. So the excavator individual was still too much, 11,000, because it was a 5-week program, and you get I forgot, 110 hours, right? And then wheel loader was 6,300. You get 50 hours in the machine. And the rock truck was 8,000 for 3 weeks, and you get 50 hours, the same 50 hours in the machine. Yeah, this guy doesn't want to speed up, so we're gonna speed up for him. And so that's how and then of course I talked to a bunch of people, and yeah, everybody says the excavator is great, but it's just too expensive, you know. And then I talked to Mitch remember Mitch from Frontier Specialized? I remembered, I thought, who can I ask, you know? And I remembered Mitch used to be in construction. And I still have his phone number, so I texted him and explained the situation, and I said, which machine do you recommend to start with? And his exact words were, start with a wheel loader and then maybe later go for an excavator, you know? And I trust this guy because he said he still has he has an excavator, a wheel loader, he still has some heavy equipment. And so then I talked to another guy, and so yeah, so wheel loader seemed like the best bang for the buck, not too expensive compared to other programs, but and you know, super useful. You can do so many things with them. And I discovered YouTube has so many videos about this, right? I found like a training video, you know, like wheel loader 101. You know, the guy just doesn't assume anything. He's talking to you like you're a rookie. He does the walk around, you know, inspection. Then he shows you the basic controls. Then he gives you tricks how to get material from a stockpile, how to load the truck. You know, it was so interesting, and because I never watched these before, you know, like. And then another guy was doing some work in a asphalt plant, and his job was to load material in 4 separate bins. Like one was for sand, one was for smaller gravel, one for the bigger gravel, you know. And he was running around basically picking up, scooping material and putting it on in a bin, and then the conveyor would move it to the actual bin, and then from there they would mix them. When a truck comes over, it would automatically mix stuff from all these 4 bins. And you know, it's actually it's not asphalt, it was concrete plant, right? Which seemed okay, might be a bit, you know, repetitive, but nobody bothers you. You're on your own. You're inside a comfortable cab, you know, air suspension on the seat, you know, air conditioning if you needed to, right? So I think I can do it. Well, I made it to Innisfail, so that's where my school is. And actually that's where I booked a hotel. I booked a hotel for 3 nights. So today Tuesday, right? So 1 night from Tuesday to Wednesday, then Thursday, Friday, and then Friday I'm going to class, and all classes finish real early, 3 o'clock. And Friday I might meet up with my friend from Nisku, you know, the freight broker guy that I used to work with. I told him I'm coming to Red Deer. Of course, it's still pretty far for him to drive from Edmonton, but we might go Friday, or might just go to some restaurant, have some couple of beers maybe. We'll see. But if not, then Friday I'm not staying in Red Deer. I'm just driving back, because like some guys were saying, why you don't do it every day? But it's just, yeah, I can drive, but it's over an hour one way. So that's what, 20 liters of gas roughly. That's $1.45 per liter. So roughly 30 bucks. 30 bucks in gas, but it's cheaper than the hotel. The hotel is the one I found, I think it was 70 bucks a night. but I don't want to put all these miles and on the car. I already have 4,491 clicks, 4,491. So somewhere here, I think it might be this highway, like for my school. I have to take, basically I have to go this way, like I'm driving north, so the school is somewhere over there, like 5 miles, 8 kilometers. And so today, so I'm spending the day in Red Deer, right, with this ground disturbance course, and then when it finishes, I'm gonna drive back to my hotel here in Innisfail and get ready for Wednesday, when I have to drive to the actual school. But I think Wednesday it starts real late. It's like 11 o'clock. I don't know. Like, they charge you this money and then it's not even a full day. Because I think to Wednesday, so today it's the ground disturbance, right? And then Wednesday they just say orientation. So basically Wednesday they're gonna just shoot the breeze about what we about to learn, right? There's no actual class, I think, and they say, yeah, you'll go home at 3 o'clock. Okay. Or maybe there'll be another test. I don't know. Like another safety ticket. Okay, we are 33 clicks away from my destination, so it's pretty far, from Innisfail to Red Deer. But that's where you have to go. So an accident, a guy was sitting, the guy flipped over and flipped around and was sitting in the middle in the grass, and there were a bunch of firefighters, police. So the left lane was blocked, so that's when this new rule came, right? So we had to slow down to 60. Here quite often they have these turn-offs, so if you want, you can even spend the night there. Like, there's no signs that prohibit night parking, but actually I did it a couple of times when I was in Alberta coming here from Ontario. But it's not a good spot, to sleep, because there's always traffic here, it's very noisy. Like at night you cannot get a good night's sleep here. By the way, I'm driving and I'm thinking about the car, right? So I still have this no muffler setup, and I have that big muffler that I ordered from SpinTech, sitting at home, because I did not realize that I'm very familiar with their lineup of mufflers, and I ordered one of their smallest mufflers, or I thought I was ordering SpinTech Pro Street 9000, and I didn't notice there were 2 letters after 9000. It said XL, and then when the muffler arrived, that was my first reaction. Wait a second, why is it so big? Like 9000, they're very small. And turns out XL, of course, like the size XL, that's a new muffler they developed because 9000 is the most aggressive muffler, like in terms of sound. And so they developed this XL to keep the same performance but make it a bit quieter. And that was never my intention, to keep things quiet, because this is a 2-liter engine. Like, it's not gonna be loud no matter what you do. But now I'm stuck with that muffler because it's too big. Like there's not that much space in the back there. And I even called the shop there, right? And I said, what do you guys think? Because I said, I don't want to pay the same amount of money you charged me last time, because it was pretty expensive. But he says, why do you want to do this? He says, what, it's too loud? I said, no, it's not too loud, but this muffler from Spintech is supposed to give you a better performance. You know, like a quicker throttle response, because it has those kind of like, it has special things inside that accelerate the flow. You know, it's better than having an open pipe like what I have now. But it's too big. But basically they were saying, okay, come down here, bring the muffler and show us, and we'll tell you if it's doable or not. And so, and I tried to sell that muffler, like it cost me, you know, it's expensive, like on the website there it says 113 bucks US. I was trying to sell it for 250 Canadian, and everybody messages me like, why are you asking so much? You know, on the website it's 113. I said, wait, first off, 113, that's US dollars, right? You have to multiply by 1.35, that's Canadian, and then there's shipping, and I had to pay a customs, you know, duties to UPS. And so when I looked at exactly how much I paid, even though the muffler is 113 US, I paid, after shipping, after duties, I think it was 285, basically $290 Canadian, right? And so I was trying to sell it for 250. Nobody wants to pay that much. Oh, it's 113 US on their website, why would I pay you? And I try to explain to them, people don't care about shipping, you know. So now I reduced the price to 200 because I missed the window. I could have returned it to Spintech because it's still brand new. But actually I'm gonna ask them, maybe, you know what, I need those original 9000, the small muffler. Because it's still, you know, when you're driving like on the freeway like now, it's not loud, but it is definitely louder than factory. So I don't know, but I do want to change it. I think with the muffler you get better performance, you know, because it accelerates the flow. I probably, you know, when I'm back from my training, I probably should go down there and to the shop that did the work, and just bring this big muffler and show it to them and see what they say, and what they if this is too big, like what kind of muffler would they recommend, you know.
Take exit 401, then keep right at the fork.
And that's it, this is my exit. We are in Red Deer. So I have to go east, and this is Highway 11 or 67th Street.
Keep right at the fork.
And then I think first intersection I go left, which looks like it's a roundabout.
In 400 meters at the roundabout, take the third exit onto Johnston Drive.
Third exit. So yes, I'm going now. This is east. I have to go north.
roundabout onto Johnston Drive.
We have to go this way.
Continue on Johnston Drive for 1.5 kilometers.
No, it's a good area here. Lots of restaurants. I think there was a truck stop on the other side. There's a tire place for big trucks. I think I've been here before. It looks familiar. Now we're looking for
In 600 meters, turn left onto 76th Street.
Yeah, 76th Street. And of course I'm early. Well, it's 10 to 8, which is perfect.
Turn left onto 76th Street, then your destination will be on the right.
Alright, so that's where this guy is turning, okay. My destination will be
Your
on.
destination is on the right.
I'm guessing it's somewhere inside this plaza over here. Oh, safety now. Safety now. I'll just have to find parking somewhere. Reserved parking, childcare. Okay. Reserved parking. Reserved parking. Interesting. So there's no parking here. All right. So here it's not reserved. Customer and employee parking only. Like, where am I supposed to park? Camden. Build Central, Alberta. So basically there was like 3 parking spots that are not reserved. What a bunch of morons, you know? It's all reserved. Oh, okay, so that's where I have to park. Unbelievable, you know? Like in the middle of nowhere, and they have no parking. Vehicles over 6 meters. Let's go see what that sign says over there. Oh, so we can park here. Basically, there's no parking if your vehicle is longer than 6 meters. But if it's not longer than 6 meters, then you're perfectly fine. So it's the same sign as over there. Where's everybody's parked. But this is like stupid, you know? But I see a bunch of guys already there waiting. So which is cool. So I guess I'm not the only one. So basically, I'm guessing these guys, they do safety ticket training for a bunch of companies. Oh, one guy was pointing to this pickup truck. He says, park here, park here. But I'm guessing he was holding the spot. Well, time now is 7:55. So I'm just gonna sit here because I don't want to stand on the street like those guys there. I think, by the way, when did they open here? Safety. Open soon. 8 a.m. Oh, cool. So I'll just wait till I see the guys move and then I'll go inside. Well, I'm at my hotel. After the course, this was quite intense, and everybody said it was the most difficult safety ticket you get, ground disturbance. I'm at hotel in Innisfail, and that little Jeep looks familiar because it's mine, and that's Highway 2 over there. So tomorrow I have to go north a little bit. It's where the training was in Red Deer, and then I drove, I think, about 36 clicks south. And so we were there from 8:30, like the studies started at 8:30, and we finished, we wrote the written test. I was out of there by 4, so now I have my temporary certificate. So there were 30 questions on the test, and the pass mark was 80%. So it's pretty, liberal. I made one mistake, but one mistake, you would think that one number, after the entire day that they were hammering that into our brains, I would remember one number, and that number is the search area. When you're doing a ground disturbance, like when you're, doing a trench or stuff like that, there's a work area and then there's a search area. So it's your responsibility as a ground disturber, as they call them, to search within 30 meters, right? So you should be sure what's happening on the ground within 30 meters of your work area. And for some reason, there's another number that has to do with hand digging, like exposure, hand exposure, where you cannot use an excavator, let's say, to dig, but you have to do some kind of a use some mild methods like vacuum or hand digging, and those are different numbers. And so I mixed up this one. Instead of 30 meters, which is 900 feet, I wrote 5 meters. So after a whole day of course, I decided that when you're digging a trench, all you're responsible for is 5 meters or 15 feet. That's where you search for buried facilities, as they call them. But the good news is that out of 30 questions, there was the only one I got wrong, okay? And this is a big deal, this ground disturbance. Why? I learned from like page 1 of this, they gave us this big book, ground disturbance, and actually it's level 2, which is level 1 is for workers, level 2 is for supervisors. But our instructor, very cool guy, former firefighter, all in tattoos, very muscular, said he can bench press 400 pounds, probably like 45 years old, very nice guy. And he was saying that nowadays most Canadian employers require this level 2, which is the supervisory level, even though they hire you as a worker, right? Which is funny. So now basically here in Alberta and Canada, level 2 is the norm. Nobody does level 1 anymore. And I didn't pay for it. Like normally they said it's about $170. But in my case, it's all included. So I showed up there, showed them my driver's license. They found me on the roster, and they said, okay, go this way. And originally I was thinking I would do some jokes in the class, like, why do I need a ground disturbance if I plan to be a wheel loader operator? And as if to answer those questions, they have this little handy table over here, which is called examples of a ground disturbance, right? So of course the most obvious one is excavating. Okay, you are really disturbing the ground. Excavating, digging, quarrying, right? Those are obvious because you go below the surface. But then what I didn't realize, that backfilling is considered a ground disturbance. And backfill is when you dig a trench, right, and then you put the material back into the trench, and that's what I'm going to be doing as a wheel loader operator. So backfilling is an example of a ground disturbance. Another thing I did not realize is that land leveling is ground disturbance, and that's again what I might be doing as a wheel loader operator. Another example, especially relevant in Alberta with our snowy winters, is plowing. Plowing is considered a ground disturbance, you know. And then the last one I was surprised about is clearing. Clearing, I'm guessing you're taking off the top of the soil or something, or you're taking off the top where there's some grass, or I don't know. You know, I'm not very well versed in all these technical terms, but that's a couple of that I learned. Backfilling, I did not know what backfilling meant, and so it's pretty useful. You know, it's pretty useful. And one thing I was not aware of is how many organizations there exist that their job is to supervise all this. You know, there's energy regulators on federal level and provincial level. There's all kinds of health supervisory organizations. There's all kinds of organizations, and there's very strict procedures, you know, what they have to do when you plan to do this ground disturbance, you know. And so they gave us these books. I don't know how they make money on this, because this book probably was, I don't know, like $30 if you buy it online somewhere. Ground disturbance level 2. And then they gave us then they gave us this utility safety. So that's USP, Utility Safety Partners. That's a company that there's a one call system where you can call or click. You know, they say nowadays, instead of call before you dig, now they say click before you dig, because now you can do everything online, and it's much faster when you do a written request. Like you plan to do some project, and you use this one call provided by this Utility Safety Partners, and they will tell you what companies are involved there, like what companies have buried facilities, you know, like electric lines, gas lines, maybe some fuel storage, like fuel storage tanks, you know. And so they gave us, these are like basically the regulations like that pertain to this particular ground disturbance. And then we had interesting exercise package. So this was a true story. When somebody was, you know, they gave you all these, like, you know, like a scenario, right? So a company showed up to install a fiber optic cable, and they checked everything, you know, supposedly, and there was a buried gas line that was installed in 2011, and this was happening in 2021. And nobody knew exactly where that gas line was. And so these guys were installing the fiber optic, and they thought they notified everybody and everything was marked, and locators were installed, you know, and they hit that gas line, and a fire happened, and all hell broke loose. And basically our exercise here was to determine what went wrong and how this could have been prevented. And so they give you, like, you know, lots of documents here. So you have scenario, then there's a ground disturbance checklist where they did the checklist and you see what was missing there, and then there's a plot plan, you know, this was like really intense. And then there was a excavation permit from County of Strathmore in Alberta here. And then there was a facility proximity agreement. And so then at the end, we had 12 questions that we had to answer, basically to figure out, as they're saying, 100% of all these accidents, they're preventable, right? And the biggest part, why is this so important, is that they were saying, I think somewhere here on page 3, like when they were talking about Canada, hold on a second, because that's like, in 2020, the cost of damage to underground infrastructures is estimated to be over 1 billion per year. 1 billion per year. That's why they created all this, because it happens every day. It's like, I don't know, it's like crime, right? So everybody somewhere, every hour, hits a gas line, pipeline, electric line, fuel tank, all the time. And it causes, first off, you can die, right? It causes death, it causes injury, you can get a huge fine, you can get a prison sentence, or the worst part probably is you can totally scrap the environment, you know, if you like spill the bunch of oil or something like that. So it's real serious stuff. So it was kind of like eye-opening for me, you know, because at first I did not treat this seriously, but then especially in that part when I read what constitutes the ground disturbance, and I saw that a lot of what I'll be doing as a wheel loader operator, you know, like backfilling, cleaning, plowing, stuff like that, it's under this, it's governed by these regulations. So anyway, so this was a good day, intense day. And so I drove, what, like 130 kilometers in the morning. And then now I drove 30 kilometers back south to Innisfail. And that's where my training is going to begin tomorrow at the actual school. But I think first day, sorry, I'm supposed to show up there at 11 and we're done by 3. So this is more like orientation day. They're probably going to show us the machines, the training site, the classroom, stuff like that. Talk about the rules, how to behave on site. And for this one, I cannot wear these pants. They said no sweatpants, but t-shirts are okay. So I don't think I need my safety boots, but I have them in my truck, in my Jeep. But I'm just gonna put on those cargo pants I purchased and show up there like this. And then if they say I need safety boots, I'm gonna run to the Jeep and get them out. But for now, so one ticket is done, and then they're saying that I'm gonna receive the permanent one, which looks like a credit card. It's like plastic. And these are good for, I think, 3 years, and then you have to retake them. And we had 8 people in the class, 7 guys, 1 gal, and most of them were, like, one guy was from the same school, one guy was from this internal heavy equipment operator school, and he said he was taking the 6-week course on 6 machines. And out of curiosity, I said, I apologize in advance, but I'm just curious. I said, did you get financing or are you paying yourself? And he said he's paying himself. Like, I don't know, he's from Jamaica and he's paying $25,000 for the course himself. And there was one girl, and she said that she used to be in construction. She had all these safety tickets. Then she went to work somewhere north, something to do with polar bears. And now she came back. And so you need this in order to be in construction. So like half of the people were construction guys that had to redo it, either because they went away and now they came back, or because it's only valid for 3 years and it expired and now they had to do it again. Like a guy next to me, I feel he's some kind of like a supervisor, because when we were doing this exercise, we were all asking him, okay, what did you put in number 8? How about number 10? Like, he knew this stuff, you know. You could see that he's you know, he's in the field, you know, like I'm a newbie with this, like all these, you know, checklists, what is it called, ground disturbance checklist, plot plan, excavation permit, this is all new to me, you know. So something similar to what I had before is the oversized permit, overweight permit, but that's, you know, now it's more kind of like closer to the ground. So even though it's a bit tiring, but still, you know, interesting stuff. I'm pretty sure it's pretty useful, you know. So that was my experience with day one of training, even though I wasn't at the school, but it's all school related, right? It's off-site. So very intense, full day. I thought they were kidding, you know, but no, it's full day. And then I finished the test probably, I don't know, 15-20 minutes. And I'm happy that I made only one mistake. So, but I will remember that one forever. That search area is 30 meters from your work area, right? So that's where you have to check for any underground facilities. Thanks for watching.